Hi everybody, my name is Beau and welcome to an episode known as Beau Says. As you probably have known, my friend Cameron Mackard has a series named Cameron Says, and he reviews, he gives his standpoints on his movies, or actually no, not his movies, but the movies he watched and reviews it. And today, it's going to be like that. Today I'm going to review the one, the only Evil Dead remake. Boy, was this a terrifying film. Alright, so I'm not going to give spoilers. This is a spoiler-free review, which means I'm not going to give away the ending. You got to watch the movie to know what the ending is. So, so we have 5 people. I know 2 names, David and Mia. So, and I'll describe the other characters as we go on. I know one's a nurse, I know one's a blonde, and I know one has like blonde hair with a mustache and a beard, and he's the one who discovered the book and looks through the book, and he actually says what you should not say because that demon will come by if you say those 3 words. And that's, yeah, that's that guy. So we'll mention him as that. So so the movie starts off with a torture chamber with, somehow it's like a somewhat innocent lady, with all this different types of people who believes in witchcraft because they have that book, that Evil Dead book, and then out comes his father. He says, who is like scared to do this. It's like he doesn't want to do this, but he has a feeling that he needs to, because as we go on later in the scene, she is infected with the Evil Dead demon, and then once her father lights her on fire, the spirits of the demon and her die. And then that's when we begin with the movie. We begin with the movie with 5 people, including a woman named Mia, who was a dope and cocaine user and is looking forward to going through sobriety. Quit cocaine, quit doing cocaine, quit doing dope. But, for her it's going to be more harder than she thought. Then we have her brother named David, which I believe that's his name. David hasn't been around with Mia for a while. The reason why is because David missed the day that, his and her mother died. Because, he's a bit cowardice towards, facing death in his own eyes. She faced death in her eyes because she was her caretaker before she died. Before the mother died. But anyway, once those people got into the place, it's a mess. It's a complete and utter scary mess. And then it goes on. She and him talk about, the mother's death and blah, blah, blah. And then later on, the other guys have made a promise and then they tell that promise to David that if Mia loses her sobriety, they wouldn't help her. They wouldn't drive her back. She has to face this on her own. But as it goes on later on, Mia has found a smelling reek that doesn't smell good, and she says it smells like, dead people or burnt rubber or something like that. And then they figured out, then the dog, which, alright, it's gonna be somehow weird to say this. The dog's name is Grandpa. How can you name a dog Grandpa? I don't get that. I mean, I mean, Sandy would have been nice. Rover would have been nice, but Grandpa? How? I mean, that's one of my pet peeves on the movie. How can you name your dog Grandpa? I just don't get that. But anyway, like, did his actual grandpa turn into a dog because of some voodoo spell, or I don't know. I just don't get that. But as it goes on, Grandpa notices something underneath the rug. And they have discovered that there is a basement down there, and it's completely marked in blood. So they went downstairs. The smell is worse, and once they get to the place where they want to see, or I don't know if you call it want to see, because, you know, it's very, very disturbing. There's dead cats all over. Disfigured, decapitated, dead cats. And they look like they're real, but remember, it's not. But it looks like they're real. And I like how realistic the dead cats were, you know, to terrify us. So they have decided to clean up the basement. And they decided to clean up the basement. And they also found a book. They found that book. And as later on goes by, Mia was walking around outside thinking, I want to get back into coke. I want to get back into some dope, man. I can't handle this. The smell is bad. Everything's going worse and worse and worse. And then the guy who discovered the book, he used pliers to get rid of the, I don't know what they're called. I don't know what they're called. And then takes this plastic thing and shows what the book looks like. From the texture of the book, it looks like it's made, the cover, it's made by like skin, like human skin. That is like killed by some people, I think. And as later on comes by, he reads the book, looks through the book and trying to see what the book is like. And then he notices a hidden code. Sorry about that. He notices a hidden code in the book. So he tries to trace it down and says those 3 words. And that's when the demon comes. Yeah, that's when the demon comes, and oh boy. That's when terrifying experiences comes by. When that demon comes in. After he said those 3 words. Start to terrify Mia for the first second, and then later on, she gets in. She wants to get out. Most of her friends think that, you know, she wants to go back into dope. She wants to go back into cocaine. So she decided, you're on your own. Goodbye. We're not gonna help you. It's like, oh, fuck all of you. Fuck all of you. And then she decided to steal one of the cars. And that doesn't sound like a good idea, because lo and behold, there comes that demon again. And then she loses control, crashes into a puddle, and then tries to get out of there, and the demon's getting closer. You know, there's that shot where the demon comes popping up. It's like, oh my god! It's like, yeah, that was very terrifying. And it gets intense, and it gets more intense as the chase goes on. And then, oh, that's when Mia falls into a rose, I believe a thorn bush. Yeah, that's what it is, a thorn bush. And then the thorns, you know, handle her arms by their own. And then that's when the demon comes out. And I don't know what type of thing came out of her mouth. I don't know what it is, but it came out of her mouth and it slithered like a snake and went up into her vagina. It's like, that's terrifying. It's like, wow, oh my god. and that's when she got infected with the Evil Dead demon. It didn't kick in until later in the night when she started to lose control, and that's when everything goes berserk. Is it worth the scare? Definitely worth the scare. Definitely worth the terrifying experience. But there are some pet peeves, like I said. One, why would you name your dog Grandpa? I do not get that. Two, David is by far in the movie the most dull character in the movie. I do not like his character. I do not like the character David because, one, he didn't get to see his dying mother. Two, he doesn't help the other people until later in the end. Yeah, until later in the end. I mean, come on, you need to help other people, to get rid of this demon. Three, I just don't get, the emotional, scenes when it comes by. If you have to kill the demon, you just have to kill the demon. Come on. And yeah, and I'm not going to go into spoiler alert. You gotta watch the movie, okay? I think those two are my main pet peeves of the movie. But overall, is the movie worth it? Definitely worth it. Please watch the movie. It is terrifying. It is entertaining. It is wow. It is by far one of the best horror flicks in the recent modern years. Now, I will have to say this. Before I watched the Evil Dead movie, I watched the Evil Dead Red Band trailer, where it has that mature audiences only trailer. Now, from what I understand from looking at all of this at the Red Band trailer, I thought, from what the producers are building up to, they're building up to saying that this film is even scarier than The Exorcist, based on their build-up, because they're saying that this is the most terrifying film you will ever see in your entire life. And they didn't disappoint, but here's the thing. I'm going to have to say that this film is more terrifying than The Ring, but not as terrifying as The Exorcist. Because when The Exorcist came out, you have no idea what The Exorcist is. You have no idea what the story's about. You have no idea what everything is about in this film when that trailer was out. What most people thought is there's this pastor and there's this girl. I don't know what's going on. But when the movie hit, wow, many people were freaked out on this movie. They were so freaked out that some of the members passed out. Yeah, literally passed out. Evil Dead is pretty scary, but not The Exorcist scary. I mean, on the Red Band trailer, it shows the demon. It shows, the terrifying experiences that you are going to see on theaters. And maybe even more than that. There's blood, puking blood on someone, having that knife, the tongue, and then slicing in half, and then kiss. That is disturbing. But still, I have to say this. The Exorcist is still the scariest movie of all because it has a trailer that not many people not know what's going to happen when they see the movie, and when they saw the movie, wow, what a terrifying experience. And yeah, but overall, the scares, yeah, I have to say that the Evil Dead remake the Evil Dead remake movie is way more scarier than The Ring. And my rating on the Evil Dead remake is a 4 out of 5. So yeah, that is my Beau Says episode, and I hope you enjoyed this. Goodbye.